Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Inshallah, this is the third dars regarding the question and answers about Islamic veil. Now we're going to talk about 3 points here. The Satr of a woman for a man. Nowadays there are 3 scenarios related to this. A man looking at his wife. B, a man looking at mahrim relatives. And C, a man looking at non-mahrim women. We're going to talk about A. Is there a part of the body that a husband and wife are not permitted to look at? Okay, this is a question. Now the answer is no. There is no such part of the body. Shadus Sharia, Badu Tariqa, Alama, Maulana Mufti Muhammad Amjad Ali Azmi alayhi rahmatullahi al-Qawi stated, a husband may look at every part of his wife's body from head to toe, whether or not he feels lust. In the same way, both types of women, i.e. wife and slave girl, the latter does not exist today, can see every part of the man. However, it is better for both husband and wife not to look at each other's private parts, as this weakens the memory and the eyesight. Talking about B now. A man looking at his mahrim relatives. Question. Which part of the body of his mahrim relatives, e.g. mother, sister, is man allowed to look at? Answer. A man is only allowed to look at certain areas of the body of his mahrim relatives. Explaining this in detail, Satr Sharia, Badu Tariqa, Alama Maulana Mufti Muhammad Amjad Ali Azmi alayhi rahmatullahi al-Qawi says, he is allowed to look at the head, the chest, shin, arm, wrist, neck and foot of a mahrim female relatives, as long as there is no risk of lust for both. It is not permissible to look at the stomach, the back, the thigh of any of these women. Likewise, it is not permissible to look at their sides and knees. The rule applies when these parts are not covered by clothing. But if a thick cloth covers these areas, then there is no harm in looking at them. It is permissible to look at their ears, necks, shoulders and face. Mahrim relatives are those women that man is never allowed to marry, i.e. nikah with them is haram forever. No matter whether the hurmat prohibition is due to blood relation or any other reason, such as relation formed on the basis radat or musaharat. If prohibition on marriage is established by means of fornication, then the same rule as stated above applies regarding the fornication. Man looking at the fornicating women's mother, maternal grandmother in brackets, maternal great grandmother, etc., and her daughters in brackets, daughter, granddaughter, great granddaughter, etc. Another question. Is an Islamic brother permitted to kiss or massage his mother's hands or feet? Answer. It is allowed if neither of them experience any lust. In fact, for Islamic brother or Islamic brothers, this is beneficial in both worlds. It is narrated if someone kissed his mother's feet, then it is as if he has kissed the doors of paradise. Alama Maulana Mufti Muhammad Amjad Ali Azmi alayhi rahmatullahi Qawi says a man is also allowed to touch the parts of a mahrim woman's body that he is permitted to look at, as long as there is no risk of lust for both. A man may massage his mother's feet, however, he can only massage her thigh if it is covered by a cloth. Touching her thigh directly whilst it is uncovered is prohibited. Moving on to C. Is a man allowed to look at a non-mahrim woman's face? Answer. He should not. However, if necessary, he can, but with certain conditions. Explaining some situation for this, Alama Maulana Mufti Muhammad Amjad Ali Azmi says, the rule for looking at a non-mahrim woman is that if necessary, he may look at her face and palms, because sometimes this is necessary. For example, if a witness who is testifying for against her in court case is prevented from looking at her, then how can he testify for her or against her? However, even here there must be no possibility of lust whilst looking at her. These days this is needed because in markets or public streets many women walk around outside their homes, and to avoid seeing their faces at all is very difficult. Some scholars permit looking at their face. Some scholars permit looking at their feet as well. He rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi further states, although it is permissible to look at the face of a non-mahrim woman without any chance of lust, these are irreligious times. People of this era are not like the early generations. Hence, in this era, looking at its face in brackets will be prevented. However, it is permissible for a witness or a judge to look in case of necessity. For example, if you are boarding a plane, you'll have a passport, you'll have your picture on there, that's necessity, long as there's no lust involved. Another question, are the ears, the neck included in her face? And when it is permissible to look at the face of a non-mahram woman, it is also permissible to look at these parts. Answer, no, ears, neck, throat are not included in the face, and for non-mahram man to look at these parts is a sin. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. May Allah Azza wa Jal give us ability to control our gaze, to lower our gaze, and to only glance when if necessity, and also give our mothers, the ability to cover themselves according to the Sharia, and may Allah protect them from bad nazar, from lust, and all these types of environments that we have outside. Ameen.